Now, back to the safety rules. Like I said, if you want to find yourselves inside of the river, don't worry, we have life jackets aboard the boat. Inside of the hatches to my right and left side, which they have never been used, and we will try to keep it that way. Now, also, if you are to get caught using any tobacco products here on the Riverwalk, it could get you into a $200 fine for using cigarettes, cigars, e-cigarettes, vaping, and even dipping. $200 fine. And by the way, this is San Antonio, Texas, not California, Colorado, or Vegas. If you were to get caught using a 420 product, marijuana, it could be a little higher. No, nobody got the joke? Wait, I can't tell. Raise your hands if you all want the history. Okay, there are a few. Okay. I'll give it to you. So, are you ready for the narrated tour? Oh, come on, it's Christmas Eve. Y'all have me working out here. Are y'all ready?
Yeah!
There you go. Now, for those of y'all that enjoy optical illusions, you know, things that mess with your eyes, I want you to look to the building on my left side right now and look all the way up to my left right now. All the way up, all the way up, all the way. This wall will look like it's flat. It looks like it's freestanding. And the reason for that is because this is an iron building, which means it is in a form of a triangle. And this building had first opened up in 1930 as the Nate's Hospital. And it was the first hospital here in the United States to offer central air conditioning. And it was also the birthplace of the comedian Carol Burnett, Oliver North the Colonel, and even the former mayor, Henry Ciceros. And by the way, the building is no longer being used as a hospital, now being transformed into a hotel. Ah, yes. A hospital being transformed into a hotel. Another possibly haunted hotel. But I do want to tell you something. That is not the worst thing here in San Antonio to be transformed into a hotel. Would you like to know the worst thing in my personal opinion? It was an old jailhouse used for public executions. And today, it is a Holiday Inn. But it is not the Holiday Inn on the Riverwalk, it is the Holiday Inn Express by Travis Park. And if you are staying there, or you're planning on staying there now, good luck. Whatever you do not stay on the bottom floors. Now the building you see over here to my left side is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. That had opened up in 1981, hoping to be 30 stories tall. But today it is only 16 stories tall. And the reason for that dramatic change is because the Alamo is its next door neighbor. And the Alamo is a war memorial, and you cannot cast a single shadow upon any war memorial at any time throughout the year. Now, if you would like to get to the Alamo from the Riverwalk, I recommend on just going through the Hyatt Regency, because inside there is a waterway you can follow up, and once when that waterway ends, cross the street and you will be at the Alamo Plaza. But before you are able to cross the street, you will be coming face to face with a cannon. Don't worry, it's just a picture. But behind that picture is an actual cannon, but with no fuse or gunpowder, so you cannot light it. And the building you see over here to my right side is the Casino Club building. It had opened up in 1927 as a merger between two society clubs. And then later on opened up as an apartment building. Has anyone here ever read a book called Roots? Or at least in a TV show or the movie? Well, the author of the book Roots, Alex Haley, had actually resided in the Casino Club building. And by the way, the building is not a casino. It is just called that. Now, for those of y'all that might be looking for Tex-Mex food, just letting you know, you have come to the right place. There is Tex-Mex over here to my left, over here to my right, In front of us to the left and in front of us to the right, there is Tex-Mex, 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 and Tex-Mex. But for those of y'all that are looking for steak, seafood, and a good sweet margarita, then I highly recommend Boudreaux's over here to my right side, because they also serve a really good prickly pear margarita, where I intended on only trying one of them, but I did end up getting 6 of them. And over here to my left side is Cafe Ole, which is home to the 60-ounce margarita with 13 shots. 60 ounces, 13 shots, $30. You heard me correctly. And over here to my right side is the Republic of Texas, where they serve their own tequila and whiskey. And this used to be the office for a man known as Robert H. Hugman. You will be seeing a bust of him to my right side next to the stairs. Next to us. That is what Robert H. Hugman had looked like. Captain Aaron, who is Robert H. Hugman? Great question, everyone. He is the father and an architect of the Riverwalk. He's the one that came up with the idea for the flood control here in San Antonio. Okay, but why flood control? Another great question. It was all because of that massive flood that had occurred in September of 1921, where the floodwaters were so bad that they were 9 feet above street level. And it took 20 years before his plans for flood control was finally completed in 1941. And in that same year, Robert H. Hugman had placed his office on the Riverwalk because he wanted to show everyone they could finally bring their businesses down to the river. By him placing his office on the Riverwalk, he was showing everyone that he was willing to sacrifice his property and his life. He actually spent the next 5 years on the river before the first restaurant had finally opened up, which is located to my right side. This is Casa Rio, and Casa Rio opened up in 1946, and it was also the first restaurant here on the river to offer riverside dining and river dining. Before COVID-19, we had offered dinner boats, cocktail boats, and a shuttle service. About 6 months ago, all of our services had finally reopened from COVID, just for 1 month later to shut down again due to the heat wave we had. And now we're having extreme cold. And now, about 3 months ago, the dinner and cocktail boats have reopened. We just have yet to reopen the shuttle service. For those of you that are unfamiliar with our shuttle service, it was a boat ride that will take you from the downtown area all the way to the Pearl. And there's 15 different stops that you can hop on and hop off at. Alright. Now y'all, behind me, we have left the natural area of the Riverwalk, which was completed in 1941 and has a mud base. But now, y'all have entered the man-made extension, which are taking us back to the mall, the Shops at River Center. But does anyone here remember seeing a red spiral sculpture next to McDonald's?
Yep.
It is up on the street level behind me to the left side. That is the Torch of Friendship. It was given to us by a world international artist of the name Sebastian. And it is there to signify the friendship between Mexico, United States, and Canada. No matter how complicated our friendship could be, that we still remain united even during the toughest of trials. And the Torch of Friendship was placed there in 2002, and I believe it weighs 45 tons to signify just how good our food tastes together. And you see that light post over here on the right side of the river? Look to the right of that light post. Do you see those 2 metallic flowers coming out of the ground? Well, that artwork is called Bloom. It was placed there a year ago, and there is no history behind it at all. It is just there to look pretty. What I can tell you about it, though, is the artist behind it. Her name is Letica Huerta, and she had made it out of recycled bicycle parts. Now, does anyone here remember seeing a tall tower in the sky near the downtown area? It is over here to my right side, it was clearing the trees. And doesn't it kind of look like a churro holding a cupcake? Okay, good, it's not just me. That is the Tower of the Americas. And it was built there as a staple for the World's Hemisphere of 1968. And up to the very top of that antenna, it stands at 750 feet tall. It is the second largest freestanding tower here in the United States. The first one is not the Space Needle in Seattle. It is actually the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. And the Tower of the Americas here, if you do not want to take that elevator up to the observation deck, or even to that restaurant that rotates 360 degrees every hour, then don't worry. You can just take the 952 steps. I mean, it's only a 650-foot incline. Somebody actually ran up those steps in only 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And I'll tell you this, I'm never doing that again. Just kidding, this goes actually on January 29th of 1981. A 16-year-old high schooler named Tommy Johnson. And do y'all see that statue behind me to the right of a young woman gazing into a star? Can anybody guess the name of that statue based off what I just told you? It's just 2 words, by the way. Ooh, so close. You got the first part right. Remember, it's of a young woman gazing into a star. Stargazer. Now, do you see how she's made out of a black material? That is volcanic rock from an active volcano in Mexico. And the designer of that statue, his name is Pedro Reyes. And he says that statue is up for interpretation. She is where we want her to be. Alright, they still have yet to fix the plumbing problem. Well, look at right here in front of us. Look at the water. You see how there's ripples in it? Well, that means water is dripping from the bridge right above our heads. So I will be bumping into the sidewalk over here to my right side to prevent y'all from getting wet. But if you look over here to the right side, you'll be noticing some icicles. I didn't mean icicles, like look behind me. Oh.
Oh.
You'll be seeing on the way back out.
Coming from the bridge.
Alright.
To the left.
So raise your hands if you have someone with you that will spend your money for you. If so, then I would highly recommend for you to hide your wallets and hide your purses now, because I am taking y'all through the mall, through the shops at River Center. But before I talk to y'all about the mall, you realize yet that there's different colors to these boats yet, or different designs? Well, yes, 5 different designs, 5 different colors. The first design for these boats is the military design, because we love to show appreciation for our military members. Speaking of which, do I have any military personnel aboard my boat today? Any active, retired, veterans, or any first responders? Please show them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your service. As for the second design for these boats, that is the one you are currently on. This is the Tricentennial design. Because just a few years ago, San Antonio was celebrating its 300th year. San Antonio, which became a city in 1718, 304 years ago. Third design for these boats is the San Antonio mission design. And that one portrays the 5 missions that we have here in San Antonio on the boat. There's San Juan, San Jose, Espada, Concepcion. And you cannot forget about that last one because you have to remember the Alamo, that's right. Fourth design for these boats is the Dove design, which simply signifies peace and prosperity. And as for the fifth design, well, that is the Sun design. Because on average a year here in San Antonio, we have about 300 days worth of sunshine. And if you're as lazy as I am, it does make it extremely difficult to keep the grass green, especially if you don't have a sprinkler system. That's why my wife and I just put some rocks down recently. Yep, she picked out the color and I laid out all the rocks. And again, I'm going to be brushing against the sidewalk over here to my left side. And if you look up, you should be able to see the little icicles coming down. Just don't tell the people walking, they'll get scared. Alright, so pop quiz. What is this building surrounding us? Oh, y'all forgot. The mall. The shops of River Center, which had opened up in 1988, and it was originally called River Center Mall. And today, inside of this mall, there are a little over 100 retailer stores. There's 5 restaurants here on the river level alone. Many more restaurants inside, which includes a Dave & Buster's, where you can drink and play at the same time. And parents, I am sorry for saying this in front of your kids. Inside the mall, there's a trampoline set, a sky-high jungle gym which they can do a zip line on, or a rock climbing set, a Build-A-Bear workshop, an aquarium called Sea Life, and a Legoland Discoveries. You know, where people wait in line for blocks. And there's also 2 movie theaters inside of the mall. One is an IMAX movie theater, which is a really big screen, and the second movie theater is just a regular theater. So that one is my favorite one to go to for dates. Because not only do they have reclining chairs, but better than that, they have couples reclining chairs, which did make it a little hard for 50 Shades. And over here to my right side next to me is a statue of a man holding a little baby with a six-pack. That is of St. Anthony de Padua. He is the patron saint of children and lost articles. So if you were to lose anything, pray to him. And he is also the patron saint that we got our city name from. St. Anthony, San Antonio. And that statue was given to us by Portugal for the World's Hemisphere of 1968. And the World's Hemisphere of 1968, it was a giant party held here in San Antonio to increase tourism. And I gotta say, that had worked out perfectly well. Because the number 2 tourist location here in Texas is the Alamo. And the number 1 tourist location here in Texas today is your captain. I'm just kidding, it's actually the park we're currently in. This park is known as the Riverwalk. You know, because you're on the river and you walk along it. That's how I remember it as a kid. And over here to my right side, above the tree line, is a steeple. On my right side, above the tree line. That steeple belongs to St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Now, St. Joseph's Catholic Church had opened up in 1868 by German settlers that wanted to worship in their native language. And on the 4th Sunday of the month, they have an all-male choir called the Liederkranz. And the Liederkranz actually sing in Deutsch on the 4th Sunday of the month. And that steeple that I made you look at was not originally there in 1868. It was actually placed up there in 1898. And inside of St. Joseph's Catholic Church are these gigantic, beautiful 12 stained glass windows that they got from Germany in 1902, all for $3,000 for the entire collection of those 12 stained glass windows. So question, am I overloading all the information?
No.
No? How y'all doing?
Good.
Alright. Well, let's see, who here's paying attention to me so far? Pop quiz, you ready? What is the name of the park you're currently in?
The Riverwalk Park.
Riverwalk, that's right. You know what, that was too easy. Let me ask you something I never told you about. This one is about your prior knowledge of San Antonio and their surroundings. What is the name of the river you are currently on? I'll give you a hint. Oh, that's right, the San Antonio River. I know, very complicated name. Now, the name of this river has not always been the San Antonio River. It used to be known as
Yanaguana.
That's right, Yanaguana.
Yanaguana.
Place of restful waters, which, as you can see today, still holds very true. And by the way, everyone, y'all are now leaving the man-made extension of the Riverwalk, which was completed in 1968 as a concrete base, but now y'all have just re-entered into the natural area of the Riverwalk. And the natural area of the river has a mud base, so the depth of the river here does vary upon its location, except for in front of the bars, because we have it set to where it's less than 3 feet deep. Why? Because if someone were to be drinking a little too much there on the long side of the river, we wanted to make sure they could just stand up and get out as quickly as possible. And yes, there is about 300 people a year that fall into this river. That is only the reported cases. There are plenty more people that fall in, you know, like children that are reaching for the ducks, or also preteens or teenagers that are texting on that cell phone and do not notice the small little curve in the sidewalk and go bloop. Man, I still can't believe there's so many of y'all that are willing to go out on a boat ride in this temperature. Alright, now the building over here to my left side is a 21-story building, which I'm also including the river level as well. This is the Hilton Palacio del Rio, which was completed in 1968, and it is in the Guinness Book World of Records, because it is the fastest hotel of its size to be built in only 202 working days. This building was built up to the 4th story on site, but past that, you all see how each one of those rooms are going one in, one out, one in, one out? Each one of those rooms are built off-site, 8 miles south of San Antonio, in an assembly-style fashion line, with all of the furnishings completed inside. All the beds, dressers, sinks, showers, mirrors. Each one of those rooms are brought over here using flatbed trucks lifted using cranes, stacked side by side, one on top of the other, like little Lego blocks. Or for those of you architects or lovers of architecture, monolithic modular construction. And it was created by the H.B. Zachary Company. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering into the Arneson River Theater, which was completed in 1941, and this area was used in a movie, which you might recognize it a little bit more from the stage on my right side. It was used in the movie Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock during the bikini competition scene. That's how I remember it. Now, my wife, she remembers it this way. You remember when the judge was asking the contestant, what is your ideal date? And her response to that was, April 25th, because it's not too hot, not too cold, just enough for a light jacket. Hey, no standing. You owe me $20 now. Yep, talking to the guy in the blue jacket. Alright, so by the way, in front of us, this is the best area to take a picture of the Christmas lights. And coming up over here to my right side is a statue of a vaquero wrangling a symbol, which is leading him to the Briscoe Western Arts Museum. Now, the Briscoe Western Arts Museum had opened October of 2013, and inside houses Pancho Villa's last known saddle and Santa Anna's ceremonial sword. And also inside, there is an interactive diorama of the battle for the Alamo. And an old-style rotary phone. And when I say an old-style rotary phone, I am not talking of that rotary phone you pick up like this. I'm talking of the rotary phone you pick up like a cup and put it to your ear. And you gotta crank it. And yes, the museum will lay play with it. And everyone, thank you. One, for coming out here with me today and not making me be alone on Christmas Eve. And also, thank you for not standing up underneath that bridge, because it is the lowest one on the Riverwalk. And it is also one of the 5 Rosetta bridges we have left on the river, which means it is not held together through welding, but through rivets. I know, it's quite riveting. And the island over here to my right side next to me is known as Marriage Island, because on average a year there is about 300 ceremonies that take place on that island. There is weddings and proposals. And it is said that if you were to get married on that island, it would bring you good luck for the rest of your marriage. And personally, I do pray that's true, because my wife and I got married on that island a little over a year ago. Only to bring you good luck for the rest of your marriage, we decided to test that luck out. First for the honeymoon out in Vegas, and then for our anniversary out in Louisiana, Marksville. We went gambling. Yeah, they weren't talking about that type of luck. We actually just finished recovering financially from Vegas about like 5 to 6 months ago. Now, for those of y'all that are looking for a place to sleep for the night, I just wanted to tell y'all that I do not recommend this red building in front of us, because that is the Bexar County Courthouse. It had opened up in 1897, and it is the oldest continuously running courthouse here in Texas. It is made out of Texas granite and red sandstone. And for that roofing, it is made out of green and red tiling. I have a question for y'all. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
There you go, one person got it. Ghostbusters! Look to the building to my left and look all the way up to my left side right now. You see the gargoyles at the very top of the building?
Yes.
Guess what?
See
This building, it was not used in the movie. That's New York. This is the Tower Life building, and it was completed in 1929 on close to $3 million. And the owners of the building at the time were the Smith brothers, who were very superstitious people. That is why they had added the gargoyles at the very top of the building, and those faces you see underneath the second-story windows. Those faces are called grotesques, and they are there to ward off bad luck and bad business. Can anyone here tell me what happened in 1929 when that building was completed and close to $3 million? The stock market crash, the Great Depression had occurred. They had to sell the Smith and Young building on close to 10 cents of the dollar. Yeah, after they completed it, close to $3 million. That is when the Sears and Roebuck Company had bought that building up for close to $300,000. And they only utilized that building up to the 5th floor. Now, over here to my right side is the International Center. It houses the trade offices of Canada, United States, and Mexico. There is one restaurant located inside of the building, and here on the river level, it is currently flooded. Because this is where we store boats at the end of the night. We charge them up like little phones. Because these boats here are all electric. That's why it's so quiet. Speaking of quiet, I'm honking the horn. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Now, we have passed over Floodgate 4, which rises out of the water like a little drawbridge, and Floodgate 5, which is behind me. You see how it looks like a little drop-off back there? That's because it is. It's a 15-foot drop. That is why I'm not taking it back there. And the reason why we have flood control here in San Antonio is all because of that massive flood that had occurred in September of 1921. You guys remember how high it was? 9 feet above street level, that's right. And the one that came up with the idea for flood control, his name is Robert H. Hutton. And how the flood system works is the natural bend of the river downtown is like a horseshoe, like a letter U. And right now we are currently on a man-made section that completely blocks it off like this. Because Floodgate 4 will rise up, Floodgate 3 just a little further down ahead will come straight down, and this will block off the downtown area from possible flooding. And it will send all of the excess water straight down south towards Floodgate 5. And Floodgate 5 can lower 15 feet in order to match the water levels as you see here. Y'all still doing okay? Y'all nice and warm? I say that because like y'all are huddled together. I'm over here by myself. Now over here to my left side, past the stairs and past the trees, you see that building over there? That is the San Fernando Cathedral, which was founded in 1731 by 16 families from the Canary Islands. And inside the cathedral houses the remains of the defenders of the Alamo. Well, most of them anyways. Because did y'all know there's 2 brothers fighting on opposite sides of the wall of the Alamo? And the surviving brother had a Santa Ana who could bury his dead brother. Santa Ana had a grave, but the rest of the bodies of the defenders of the Alamo were stacked all together and then burned. And I'm by using the tiki torches to my right side. Yes, this is a brand new tiki bar called Hugman's Oasis, where they only serve appetizers and drinks to adults, and they put the children outside. And you see this giant tree over here to the left side? That is the oldest cypress tree on the Riverwalk. It is well over 200 years old, and it does have a couple of nicknames to it. One, it is known as the sniper tree, because during the Texas Revolution, a Mexican soldier was stationed up there with his rifle and would shoot any unsuspecting Texans that were watering the horses along this area of the river. Second nickname for that tree is the Ben Milam tree. Ben Milam was an unsuspecting Texan on the river. He was a colonel during the Texas Revolution and was recruiting members into the army along the river. That is until December 7th of 1835. That's when he got shot on the head by the Mexican sniper and he instantly perished from that headshot wound. Don't worry, that is the only gruesome story I'm allowed to tell y'all. And behind me is Floodgate number 3, where the door comes straight down and it takes about 15 minutes for that door to come down. Trust me, if it is starting to flood and you're underneath that door, you don't want it to go down any faster than that. Alright, will you pardon me for just one moment, please? Thank you. Don't worry, I do promise y'all this is a clear liquid. Speaking of clear liquid, anyone here enjoy drinking alcohol so much that even if it were to become illegal again, you would still drink it anyways? That silence means yes. Then this is the perfect place for you, behind me to the right side. That is the Esquire Tavern, and it was established in 1933. Yes, the same year that Prohibition was lifted. And before the tavern was established as a tavern, it was a barber shop. And it is rumored that just 6 minutes after Prohibition was lifted, the Esquire Tavern had opened up as a fully stocked bar. Just 6 minutes after Prohibition was lifted. And yes, inside of the Esquire, there's still a speakeasy bar. It's only open Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm not sure if it's open tonight because it is Christmas Eve. Alright everyone, as you can see behind me to the right, this is where I picked it all up from, which means this is the end of our tour. So everyone, please remain seated until I tie down the boat, and also please look for anything you have left behind. Look to your left, right, and underneath the seats. And if you have left anything behind worth of value, Don't worry, you can always pick it up at our ticket booth during hours of operations. Unless it has been over a year. In which case, then I would recommend if you look on www.ebay.com. Now, y'all had a great time with me tonight and feel that I did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Tipping your boat captain is always allowed, accepted, and very much appreciated. Just please, whatever y'all do, don't tip me into the river. Alright, if you have any questions at all, please let me know before you leave. And yes, for those of you that don't believe in cash, I do have Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. Alright, I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Captain AA Ron,
You
signing
too.
out.